Welcome to our coverage of NAB 2012.
Hey guys, it's Sunday afternoon here in Las Vegas. The show hasn't officially even opened yet. That's going to happen tomorrow. But we're over here at Planet Hollywood at the Panasonic press conference. We're talking to Jan. And tell us a little bit about what this press conference has been about.
Well, you know, I think this press conference really talks about some future directions for Panasonic. The primary one that we talked about here today is AVC Ultra, which is a larger family of codecs that takes us all the way up to 400 megabits per second and a 444 and stacks it back down through and gives us a better performance all the way down to a long gap permutation, if you will, so that you get a 10-bit 422 25 megabit at the low end of it. So you have this wide variety of application-specific codec that will take us through the next generation of the ubiquitous across-platform codec so that the customers can go from one platform to another with the ease of use, just like they did with DVC Pro HD or AVC Intra at this point.
Our coverage of NAB 2012 is brought to you by Kessler, innovative tools for filmmakers. Lettuce Direct. It's better with lettuce. LettuceDirect.com. Next Lights. Get lit.
So basically, you had you've had the AVC Intra, which has been up to 100 megabit.
Up to 100 megabits, yes. So there's a 50 and a 100 in the AVC Intra, but now we're expanding the family into a long gap part of it and a 4K part of it. So, you know, it becomes a much more expanded role in a solid state, easy to use, something small, and it can go into a camcorder.
But now I'm assuming that's not just an SD card interface, or is it? What's the interface?
Well, it is an SD card interface, and for the lower end of AVC Ultra, you could go up to 50 megabits on an SD card. You know, much like if you don't have the need to go into the 100 or 200 or class 400 level of Ultra codec, you could certainly do that on a standard UHS-1 SD card. Not a big deal. And you just put that into the adapter. But, you know, I think, again, it just looks at how we're going to take that whole P2 technology, which is highly robust, highly reliable, make it smaller, make it more reliable, and make it less expensive.
Our coverage of NAB 2012 is brought to you by CINEVATE, tools for filmmakers and photographers. Delaluz, apparel for filmmakers. Zeiss, we make it visible.
So you guys also talked about two cameras in particular. Let's start with the HPX600.
The HPX600, it's a 2/3 inch camera, okay? But it's flexible, adaptable, if you will. It's going to start delivering in the fall. And we sort of look at it as the replacement for an HPX500, although I'm not certain that the HPX500 is going to go away. But the point is that it sort of fits in that price range, all right? Now, not everybody needs like a variable frame rate, so that becomes an option that I can plug in.
Now, when you say plug in, that's just you saying a firmware or a...
It's a firmware download plug-in.
So we're talking about licensing firmware components or modules based on the need of the camera.
Right, and the need of the customer.
Interesting. Now, also talk about this, the new Varicam.
Well, we're calling it the 4K Varicam at this point. There isn't a whole lot of stuff that I can say other than it is under development. It's probably at least a year and a half out. But we're looking again at a modular setup that covers the entire workflow. You know, rather than saying, okay, here's a 4K camera, you can take the two HD SDI outs and record on recording du jour. No, we look at it as, okay, let's bring it through the entire workflow process so that you have an idea of where you're going to go as you make the decision to use this camera.
And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Oh, you're welcome.